Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the No Close Show. As always, Scott Carson, excited to be here with you today. And today's a Monday here in the office. Pretty excited. We had a great event this weekend. Had our Note Camp commercial boot camp with an amazing lineup of speakers that went really, really well. We only had a few slight hiccups along the way. Hiccups with somebody's power going out their house and they had to reboot, or their computer gave them the blue screen that they had to reboot their system before they got logged on again. We only had one speaker really kind of miss their spot. So when you're hurting 18 different cats, we like to say, or investor speakers, that's a great thing. Some people joined us from other events. Some people joined us from their houses. Some people joined us from hotels. And so just really a great thing. I have to give a big shout out to all of our, as I like to say, our campers or no campers, or the people that joined us throughout the weekend. And then our camp counselors, our speakers, just absolutely delivered a tremendous job of delivering content, nuggets, real world action items that many people can take advantage of and really start to put to work now. And by what I mean action items, well, some provided some different eBooks so they can download. Some provided free training. Some provided a workshop. Others just gave nuggets and checklists along the way. So others just kind of rent and shared their knowledge and insight along the way. So I think that was appreciated by a bunch of people. We had over 200 people join us on the Zoom call via the webinars, but then we also had over 260, actually I take that back, over 300 plus people now watching either via the live stream, Note Camp commercial book, Facebook group, or one of the other groups that we shared it to. So really excited about just the kind of the impact we had on there. Everybody seemed to really enjoy it. Only a few people missed out because they didn't get a link, or they unsubscribed from something earlier on, so they didn't link. But you're going to have that happen when you're doing that much stuff out there for people. I have to give a big shout out to just support from Stephanie Goodman, who just does a lot behind the scenes to make sure everybody's list is up and running and accurate. Big shout out to Shannon, who helped really manage a lot of the social media presence. She did a tremendous job. And most people were like, man, how did you post so much stuff about the speakers going live? And how did you share other things? And I'm like, well, Shannon did a really great job with that, with leveraging our buffer account, creating infographics to get them ready to go live, to alert people across our different, Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn accounts and Instagram as well. Hey, such and such is going live. You're getting ready to want to jump in and listen to them. So great way to spend the weekend with such great people, not only speakers, but also a lot of great attendees. I don't think we really had anybody who was a bit of an ass on the most part. I think everybody really, for those that showed up, now obviously we've got the replays that are going out today to those that didn't make it. If you didn't RSVP for that already, you can go to notecamp.live or notecamp.net, and that'll take you to the website. And we've got a link back on the website where you can click on it to purchase the downloads as far as the videos. That's one thing we pride ourselves to, was getting the replays and the videos up where people can use them immediately for those that miss out. Because I think it's one of the biggest things I like, when I go to an event, if I'm going to pay for the freaking replays, I want to make damn sure that I'm getting them in a timely fashion, not waiting 6 months or waiting 12 months for it to come in. You know what I mean? We already had, as of like Saturday morning, we had the replays up for Friday for people to use. And then the same thing Sunday, I had the replays up for Saturday. And then I wrapped up last night and walked out of the office about 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, actually, not 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and had all the videos, links, and everything with thumbnails and in a place where those that are members had the opportunity to watch the replays now. You don't have to wait a week. You don't have to wait 6 months. They can catch the replays. All the links to the offers that our speakers provided are also in the description and available for people to download. So that's a great thing. We're pretty much done for the most part with that stuff. Now it's just a matter of kind of following up with things. I'll get to the schedule in a second, but it's a lot of lead up. Hey, getting people signed up for it, making sure everybody's on the list, making sure everybody's getting the links that they need. Being able to share that across different platforms for the different memberships that we have. Some people, if you're a WCN member, for $97 a month, you get a ticket to this. Okay, you get all the replays, stuff like that. You didn't have to pay an extra ticket. That's the next thing. If you're a Blueprint member, if you sign up for the Note Buying Blueprint, you get a ticket. You got a ticket to that as well. So That's one thing we're working on today, is getting the replay videos added into the blueprint, so those that didn't make it can still watch those replays, and those that sign up for the future is an extra added bonus to be a Note Buying Blueprint member as well. And you can, if you're interested, you can go to noteblueprint.com to do that with a training. We're also uploading one of our last workshops on just a pure residential notes into the blueprint as well too. So, and if you're a WCN membership, you also got, you get access to all the replays and workshops we have as well too. So it's just a matter of doing that. Like I said, I learned stuff. I may have mentioned this earlier, mentioned it yesterday. My mind's a little jelly right now, a little exhausted, but I took a lot away from it, and it was really great. Not only for me to learn, because that's what I want to do. I mean, I sometimes get bored saying the same things over and over and over again, like anybody else would. So it's always nice to learn from new people. I really enjoyed Joel Block's presentation. I thought he did real well. Scott Meyer's presentation on self-storage was really good. It's good to see Garrison Gilbert and seeing all that he's accomplishing. I mean, the guy's just a brilliant guy anyway. He's a student of ours, but he's taken action and been coachable. And so his successes is due to him. It's not due to me. It's good to see it and hear from Terry Garner and what her and her business partner, Leah Ott, with Investors in Action are doing, and some of the things that they're doing with their self-storage and their business. So proud of what they've done and accomplished over the last 10 years too. I have to give a big shout out to Nathan Long and Quest IRA for being a sponsor and kicking the event off. He had probably the most views across a different platform. When I'm looking now, his episode has gotten more views because the Quest clients watching and being shared. I have to thank Aaron Young for coming in early on Saturday morning or Sunday morning and sharing his knowledge as well too on the Rockefeller strategy, and kind of taking two presentations, kind of bunch them together for everybody. I'll also give a big shout out to the guys at CreditSense, Brad Burnett, not only a great sponsor for what we do, but also they came in and wrapped it up and really provide some great knowledge on, how to protect your commercial profiles without making any fatal flaws when it comes to getting funding. So many great speakers along the way. I'm so tickled that so many people spent some time with us this weekend. Corey Peterson delivered some great energy on Friday. Terry wrapped up on Saturday, and Brad wrapped up on Sunday. Listening to Sal Buscemi from Dandry Partners was a great way on Friday. I think the second session on Friday. And then also Yakin Israel, CCIM agent, previously a special assets manager with Fifth Third Bank. We had a great discussion for an hour and a half. So I think a lot of those were the favorite things along the way. Now, one of the things that, if you've never been to one of our online workshops or boot camps, one of the things that we do a little bit differently than most is we like to try to have our attendees fill out a survey for us to find out not only kind of where they're at, but what they're looking to accomplish, what they're needing, their biggest strengths, weakness, kind of what their experience is. And then we also follow up at the end with another survey on the speakers in the event. What do they like? Who do they like? Who are their favorite speakers? How would they rank the speaker? How would they rank the event? Would they recommend it? Those kind of things, some basic information so that we can kind of see most importantly, what people's experience is. That gives us so much information so that when we move to doing the next one next year or another one later on, we've got more relevant information that we can really dive into, and provide great speakers or great content for our students. Now, same thing with the speakers. Hey, if a speaker is horrible, hey, we're not going to bring them back, and what's surprisingly too is basis is off of what people fill out. I may think somebody's a great speaker, and then I may also think somebody's a horrible speaker, but everybody else may think he or she is awesome. So I don't let my tendencies gauge who I bring back or who I bring on. I've had people speak in the past like, okay, great. You asked for him, you got him. You asked for her, we got him. We reached out to them and, they got him. So that's the big thing. If you'd like to see who exactly was the full lineup, you can go to notecamp.net. You can see the whole lineup still up on there. We're going to leave that website up for a while before we create a new one. But I wanted to share some of the biggest things that people shared with us over the weekend. And what I mean by that, some of the survey results. All right. Really kind of interesting across the board here on a variety of things. So let me pull this up here. We've got, if you figure out of, hang on here. out of the 200 that actually joined us on the Zoom links, we were at 64 people have filled it out. So not quite 33%. We're just a couple short of that. I would love to get to 50%. Don't know if it's going to happen, but it's still a little higher percentage than most people see at survey results. So the great thing is I scroll down here. Obviously, it has names, emails, phone numbers, so we can follow back up with it. You know, one of the things I will be doing this week is following up with a lot of people that attended on a personal basis, where they filled out the survey, not just to touch base with people, okay? And what's great, well, what happened there? Here we go, must have clicked off it. Is out of the people that filled out the survey, there was a chunk of brand new people, there always is. Now there's also, since we've done the Note Camp workshops in the past, Note Camp is basically, it's our information, you know, kind of 3-day, bring on a bunch of different speakers on different aspects of the note investing side, first, seconds, performing, non-performing. It's not really a heavy deep dive like our virtual note buying workshops are, but out of those that filled it out here, I always like to see here that we had basically 19% of those that filled out the survey were first timers. 17% have been to every one of our note camps, and then at least 64% of those that filled it out have come at least twice, which that's always an honor. I mean, if you can get a huge chunk of people to repeat, and it means one thing, you're providing good content, and they see the value in repeating, which is that's a big thing I always look at. What's our repeat numbers? Okay. We also ask them what kind of deals they're looking for, and they can pick multiple selections on this. And so, overwhelming non-performing first residential is still what they're looking for, and then non-performing commercial notes was the next highest thing. Let's see here. Then you dive into self-storage was a big turn up on that. We had performing notes came in at 50%. Performing notes commercials was about 47. Sorry, apartments was at like 51.5%. There you go. So you had non-performing first, non-performing commercial notes, apartments, self-storage, and then performing commercial notes were good. So mixed use was at like 22%, 20% were looking for raw land, 17% in hotels, about 18% in strip malls, and then you had about 14% of people were looking for other things, okay? We asked what the top 3 states are looking for deals in, so that helps us as we get stuff across the board. When we asked, have you closed on a commercial deal? Only 17% of those that answered have closed on a deal, 83% had. So we found that not really surprising for kind of a note camp commercial, kind of into a lot of things. Now, we weren't able to we had a couple speakers that had to cancel the last minute because of different schedules or conflicts with their travel stuff. So we get that. We missed out. You know, we had one speaker just totally got the mixed signal, wasn't there to show up for mobile home parks. Frank Broff will hopefully have him on again at a later date. Our guy in hotels, unfortunately, couldn't make it. I had to reschedule. So we'll spend more time on that later on, okay? Let's see, going down here, we have LinkedIn, how many deals are done? Well, pretty much with their LinkedIn response here. We asked people when they started investing, so they give us a rough date. Biggest goals, purchasing notes, distress, kind of going after the focus. We like to ask their biggest strengths: perseverance, communication, knowledge is a good thing. We always like to ask, hey, do you have a self-directed IRA? And 78% of those that responded have an IRA. 22% don't, which is kind of sad. We always like to ask, are they looking to joint venture with somebody? And this is always an interesting thing because it's always roughly, what's kind of funny, out of those that responded, only 6% said no, they weren't looking for a joint venture partner. But a big whopping 93%, 94% said yes, they are looking, they are yes or maybe. So 44% said yes, 49% said maybe. This is a great thing. That's the company name, company website, they have one. Overwhelmingly, 95% of those that surveyed said yes, they have an LLC, which is great. We asked what kind of other note training they've taken, and they shared a lot of things here, which is good. Their birthday, so we can reach back out to them. We asked what social media platforms that they use. So this helps us out to kind of see where they're at and kind of how to communicate with them. So no surprise that 97% are on Facebook, 89% are using LinkedIn, 59% are using Instagram, 57% are using YouTube, 48% are using Twitter. Bigger Pockets was kind of surprised at 56%, 55.5% we were on Bigger Pockets. Great. We always like to ask, what can we do better to help you in your business? So provide a lot of great content. This gives us a lot of ways to go back in and have topics on the podcast. We can have topics on our Note Night in America, and then also topics for future Note Camp and virtual note buying workshops. I always like to see what are the 3 things that you want to achieve, learn from Note Camp. Commercial, we'll go through those later. I have not had a chance to fill that out, but a lot of people filled out some great stuff there. We also ask, how often are you sending out an email to your database? And this is always a number that disturbs me, because overwhelmingly 52% have never sent an email out to their database. That's sad. So another 48% are doing something. Only roughly 10% are doing once a week. 14.5% are sending twice a month, so every other week. But roughly 24% are doing it once a month. And over the weekend, we heard time and time again from Corey and Terry and just a bunch of other people about how to raise capital. You got to build a rapport. You got to get the word out on what you're doing in a variety of fashions. And so, that's one thing. People are struggling. They just have to look at their activities. And so we'll drive that. Out of our, those that answer the surveys, roughly 30% are full-time investors. The other 70% are part-time investors. Okay. And then we ask, have you ever reached out directly to banks to find assets? Made more than 50 phone calls or email more than once. Now, I was nice to see this at 55% have actually reached out and made some phone calls. The other 45% have never done either. And so that kind of, when you start looking at, are they sending stuff out and they're wanting to get started, it's a direct correlation to their actions. Hey, I need help. Here's what I need to do. They're not doing the 2 basic things that you need to be doing. And we heard this from time and time again about building a database, building connections, communicating with people, talking with people, building rapport at an event or at meetup groups. And it was kind of, it's the same thing we hear over and over again, but it all falls into place. Really only about 20% of people, I would love it if 20% of people did something, but really it's about 10% of people are actually the true action takers out there. And that's the case with any type of event. I hope it's a little bit higher on our side. It'll be interesting to see once I break down the numbers, how many deals people have done and how long they've been investing for. We did ask people what their biggest need was, and we kind of outlined it a little bit here. Out of those that answered, their biggest 31% answered they needed to find deals. Okay, 31% said they needed to find deals. Next highest was raising capital at roughly 16%, followed by systems at 14%. Due diligence was about 5%. Marketing was roughly about 8%. Training was only about 2%. Getting started was 11%, and then 12% answered with other aspects of things. And so the other thing was organizing live, getting back in the saddle, connections to notes, which is kind of the deal aspect thing, getting started. Some people want to put a business plan in place. Somebody's looking for investors, which is kind of funny. That falls into finding investors. Due diligence systems, and then some of the people said getting out of my way. Okay. Now we added a new question to the survey just to get a feel for things on where people answered, and surprisingly, not everybody answered this question. Some people skipped it, which is fine. But others that answered it, the question is: if we found a deal that fits your specifications, how much capital would you have to put towards it? And overwhelmingly, 65% said they had, if it was 50K or less, they would do it. If they said, about 19% said if it was up to 100K, they'd have that. And then 16% said that if they had 100K or more, they would be able to pull the trigger on it, which is kind of nice. It helps us identifying investment opportunities and people to put deals into, and if they can pull the trigger or not. So that's a fun thing I like looking forward to, is we're obviously, as we find deals in people's top 3 states, we can kind of back that up. Say, okay, top 3 states, when they're looking to put the work in, we can marry deals together for everybody. So that's an exciting aspect of things, of looking at. And one of the things that we'll do, we'll have this out probably by the end of the week, is we always like to make infographics on these things and share them across social media so people are seeing, hey, what are the biggest needs? Where are they focused? What did we learn from Note Camp? Okay, what did we truly learn from the event? Because that's what it all comes down to. If you can't learn and can't overcome things, that's a tough thing. Okay. So one of the things that we love doing more than anything else is reaching back out. So one of the things, don't be surprised if you attended, that you end up getting a phone call from me. Seriously, I am glad to I like making phone calls. I like talking to people after the event. Now today I'm dragging ass a little bit here in the office from being, working some 12, 13-hour days here in the office. But it's we'll learn and take away a lot of stuff from this event and really drive it home and help a lot of people with the event. Some people signed up for workshops. Great, that's going to have an impact on them. Some people will watch the replays. Not everybody was able to watch everything throughout the weekend. I get that. I'm fine with that. And we like, having the opportunities, the different ways to watch, whether they're watching live on the Zoom, they're watching on the Facebook live stream, to the private Facebook groups, or they're catching the replays after the event. And like I said, if you'd like to get replays, one of the things that we've done is make sure and put the links to what the speakers offered up in the descriptions. You can either buy the replays at notecamp.net. There'll be a link on there to download that, and we'll get an email out to you immediately for that. Other things you might want to look at, maybe sign up for the WCN crew so that you are able to start getting things on a regular basis to get a discount. You can always sign up for the $97 a month thing by going to WCNmembership.com as well. So I get energized talking about this. I get energized seeing people get excited about things. And I got to give a biggest shout out for those that have answered the survey or answering the follow-up survey. Thank you for those that are leaving testimonials. Thank you to those that jumped on the Note Camp podcast and left a testimonial on there or a 5-star review about the event. That's always helpful as well. We encourage you to do that. One of the things we will do, it's going to take a little while, but we will have the episodes, the audio strip from the videos, and then turn those into its own podcast over the next 30 to 60 days. We'll release those one at a time, give full transcription, and be able to share that across the board for those that are interested in learning more or would rather read or listen to the episode versus watching. So the thing you got to realize, everybody, hey, if you want to learn, you can learn plenty of stuff here. This is not a big bait and switch. This is not a 20-minute, hey, give you a bit of a teaser and then sell you into something else. That's not the case at all. I mean, when you look at what, if I pull up the schedule here real fast, if I pull up the Note Camp's schedule, and what's funny is looking at and seeing the comments from people, what some of their favorite sessions were. Like Nathan Long, Quest is always one of the biggest watched episodes, whether it's a live stream or stuff like that, because they just got a huge audience. So Nathan delivered some great topics with mistakes investors make using their self-directed IRAs with commercial real estate. Great nuggets, great stuff to think about. It was kind of a funny, the following session was with Salvador Buscemi, what to consider before buying any defaulted commercial note. And he had just gotten off a red-eye flight. We were actually in a WeWork, he was in a WeWork office there in the Hamptons. And so he was a little jet lagged, and we were visiting him from the lounge. And it was a great conversation. I think a lot of people really enjoyed that. I got some nuggets from Sal's conversation immediately that we're putting to work. I have to give a big shout out to Suzanne Kessler, who really rocked the house, sharing due diligence of commercial assets and the whole platform that Pro Title USA provides to their pool buyers. Oh my gosh. Lots of great stuff. A lot of people really enjoyed that. Hers is probably the most requested slides and link to the whole dashboard so they could see that. And we've got the link to that to everybody. Our buddy Thomas Castelli, who's been a guest on the podcast here a few weeks ago, our CPA from the Real Estate CPA show, really did a great job sharing tax planning opportunities for commercial note investors in his presentation. I know a lot of people enjoyed it, and he made pretty much a dry topic interesting and was able to provide a lot of great nuggets and lead up to stuff. Of course, Corey Peterson, our buddy, the big kahuna, multifamily and capital raising secrets. His energy was just off the charts. I think that was one of the biggest things people enjoyed. Plus the fact that he gave away his training, his online stuff for free. If you were to text in, small word to a phone number, you were able to get it downloaded and in your inbox almost immediately. So kudos to Corey for sharing that, and big bonuses. I mentioned before, Scott Myers from selfstorageinvesting.com came in, provided some great content, really awoke up a lot of people's eyes to self-storage. It was one of the best presentations of the event because he really dived into the 10 reasons why he loves self-storage. It was a master class on how to dominate and achieve self-storage world domination. And I know from asking people on day 2, day 3, what were their favorite sessions, what biggest nuggets, Scott's was one of the big one that came up again and again. Now, day 2, we started off with Sean Yester, my buddy from the Crushing Debt podcast and the Yester Law Firm, and he talked about legal solutions for non-performing notes. Delivered great content. Once again, got a lot of compliments on making a dry subject interesting. Sean's got a great take on things, and that's why he's successful at what he does. That followed up with Chuck Sutherland. Chuck has over 40 years of experience in commercial real estate. So his topic on raising money for commercial deals was also exciting. He provides some checklists for people to be able to use and some other training for people to download and sign up for if they were interested. But his session was really good as well. A lot of people really enjoyed Chuck's, his take and his experience and really what you need to focus on. It was really kind of simple too. Another highlight of the weekend for a lot of people was Jill DeWitts and Stephen Jack Butualas from Home Academy and LandAcademy.com. They talked about how to buy undervalued commercial land, how to use some of the search engines they use, and some of the ones that they use to really find great deals and just about anywhere in the country, and talked about how they're marketing land, how they're finding deals, and how they're really doing some amazing stuff. So that was really, a lot of people really enjoyed their presentation as well. That followed up with our buddy, John Matheson from commercialloansuccess.com. He was a guest on the podcast a few weeks ago. He provides some great insight how to use the CLS website to really kind of pre-underwrite your deal and see how it works out to get bankers excited about your deal. He also shared his book on it that he provided a bunch of copies that we sent out to our WCN crew members, which is great. It's a great thing to give away too. So thank you to Big John for sharing that. Then that followed up with Dave Foster from 1031 Exchange. And Dave just gave a really great presentation, deep stuff on how to structure 1031 exchanges, how to structure deals if you're looking to move your assets up, to move them from one, to avoid paying taxes when you're selling, to move them up into assets. Great presentation. I got a lot of nuggets out of this one as well. So it was really great presentation. But I think a lot of people, maybe they're not ready for one, but it's good to know this stuff as they're starting to move up the ladder when it comes residential to commercial and moving on up. Like I said, Saturday we wrapped up with Terry Garner from Investors in Action. She talked about raising capital syndications. She's also got experience in self-storage. So she shared her insights into self-storage, which a lot of people really liked. A lot of people commented they really loved her presentation. And she also talked about raising capital, some of the things that she and her partners are doing to communicate with their investors. So that was really good. Great way to end day 2. Day 3, Sunday, you would think that we'd be all kind of worn out, but people showed up strong throughout, which is really nice. And we kicked off the day with Joel Block. Joel joined us actually from Denver. He's from California, LA, big Dodger fan, go Giants. And he joined us from another event in Denver that he was speaking at, the Public Speakers Association. And he really shared some great stuff on raising capital the Wall Street way. He also has an event upcoming on syndications that I think is highly desirable if you're looking to do that. That's in Las Vegas, October 27th to the 30th. Great event. And he just really, I think, shocked a lot of people with, hey, if what you're doing is great, you're playing small, you need to take it to a whole different level and move it to a whole different aspect, okay? All right. Let's see, after that, I jumped in. We were supposed to have Frank Rolfe join us from Mobile Home University. Unfortunately, got signals crossed, so I jumped in with always my backup presentation. I talked about how to find commercial deals direct from banks. I went through how we use a couple online websites to dive in, to pull lists, and how to reach out to them. Self-storage was a big interest for a lot of people, so I showed people how we leverage some of the online self-storage membership association websites to find potential deals that we then can market out to. So people really like that, is what they told me anyway. So maybe I'm a little partial because it's my session, but I think I did a pretty good job with that. That followed up with our buddy Aaron Young from Lawful Associates, who really did a great job, really kind of squeezing 2 full presentations into an hour 15, hour 20 on how do people to protect your assets like the Rockefellers, and also the Rockefeller strategy that Laughlin does. So that was a great session as well, with a lot of questions. And people have seen Aaron speak on here on a regular basis, and it's going to be a part of our events, but I always get something from his presentation. So if you've got LLCs, or you're not doing much stuff, or you're wanting to take your business to another level, it would do you a value to check out, Laughlin Associates. Go to corpveilprotection.com and talk about their services out there. Aaron was followed up by my buddy Yakin Israel out of Tampa. As I mentioned before, he's a commercial realtor. who was a previous special assets manager on the commercial side for Fifth Third Bank for years, out of managing like the Southwest Florida, Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama markets. And so he joined us. We just really kind of talked for an hour and 20 minutes on where the market was, where it's going, the best ways for people to communicate and talk to commercial bank asset managers, what to do, where the big market is, really the biggest sweet spots. And as he said, and I agree 100% with him, there's a lot of commercial deals between 1 million and 5 million value that get overlooked by the big boys. And that's where there's a lot of sweet spots for deals with banks and things like that in that kind of wheelhouse aspect of things. So enjoyed that. We talked about where the markets are going, what would we do if he had $50 million immediately to put it to work, and he shared some of his insights. But more importantly, we just kind of talked about what we're seeing in the market, opportunities, affordable housing, a lot of great buildups, things are going on in the market. So that was great. Garrison Gilbert, who's a multifamily investor, a student of ours, one of our mastermind members, has really done an amazing job. He followed up Yakin's presentation. He just shared kind of what's helped make him successful, some of the things that he's done to market, and how he's made mistakes along the way, and how he's changed his focus from going after single family, onesie twosies, fix and flips, to going to the bigger side of commercial multifamily, and what he's done the last 24 months to really help set himself apart from the other people out there, and how you can tell by his presentation he's got a big heart for helping people. And then that brought us to Brad Burnett's presentation, like I said before, with Credit Sense, how to avoid the 8 fatal funding errors with commercial real estate. Great discussion. Brad did a really great job with this. It's always nice. I've heard this once or twice before from the guys at Credit Sense, but Brad always has a little bit different energy than Meryl. Meryl's great, but Brad also brings it. It's nice to hear it from a little different aspect of things. Sometimes you need to hear the same things from somebody else for something to plug in. I know a lot of people are like, oh, aha. So a lot of great nuggets with that. And of course, we wrapped up after that for the event. So big kudos to everybody that joined us. Once again, big kudos to those that are watching the replays. We've got them re-releasing on YouTube for roughly 72 hours before I make them go private, as a way to kind of see what kind of results we get off of people watching the videos on YouTube. And we've got some people that have already watched them and enjoyed them and commented and dived in and either purchased something or opted into something from that. So we're just trying to give as many people the opportunities as best as we can to really plug in. So once again, thank you to so many of those out there that really commented, they shared. Big shout out to all our folks that shared on social media, their posts, where they were watching from, what nuggets they took away from the event. People shared. If you do a look for a hashtag Note Camp commercial, hashtag Note Camp, you'll see people's posts. Like Megan Elizabeth sitting on her back patio by her pool watching. Linda Martin sharing her computer screens and some of the presenters that she liked. The Notes team out there sharing how they were watching, and comments and quotes from each speaker. That was really great stuff out there. Crystal Signs for doing that. But once again, it's not all with one person. I can tell you this. It takes a team effort to get this in place. So once again, big shout to Stephanie Goodman, my right arm. Could not do this without her. Shannon did a great job as well on the pre-marketing and getting everything scheduled and planned. All of our speakers who showed up and brought some great content. And more importantly, all our listeners, all our Note campers who showed up for the 3 days. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of it. And we don't have a date set yet for the next one. I will tell you this, that our next workshop that we're doing, our online workshop, is the first weekend of September, the 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's going to be our next virtual note buying workshop. It'll be 3 days of just pure data on residential. We'll fit in some stuff on commercial notes as well too, how to identify them, how to reach out to them, and put your marketing in place to make things happen. So you can always check out the website weclosenotes.com to get signed up for that, and go from there, or sign up for the note buying blueprint at noteblueprint.com. Get signed up for the blueprint, and then you'll get access to a ticket to the virtual note buying workshop as well. So once again, thank you again to everybody out there that helped make this a big thing. Just see if there's any quotes or comments. I see people that it was funny, I was watching replays. Michael Slaywin, thank you so much for the review. Mike's one of our mastermind members, and it's amazing seeing him grow and kind of his eyes open up to different opportunities out there. So Good stuff to him. He just posted, I just watched the masterclass, how to achieve self-storage world domination. All I can say is, wow, good stuff. Biggest thing you guys can do is take advantage of what you've learned and put something into place, put some action behind what you're doing, and you'll find a lot of success a whole lot faster versus sitting around waiting for stuff to happen to you. So once again, guys, hopefully this has been a valuable episode here on the No Bullshit Podcast. Like I said, check out the replays. You can go to notecamp.net, notecamp.live. You'll see a button right there where you can click on the link to purchase the replays, and then you'll have all the links and everything else that people provided during their session. So once again, go out, make something happen, everybody, and we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.